Good evening. This is a Park and Recreation Commission meeting for Thursday, March 27th. I will call the meeting to order, and we do have a quorum. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First, we have approval of minutes for the regular meeting, February 27th. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion or corrections, anything? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Unfinished business. Ryan's going to talk to us about the Aquapark Policy Review.
Yes, thank you, Mike. In the agenda packet that you all have is Policy Draft 2.0, so I'll just kind of go item by item and highlight any changes, unless anyone would like me to specify specifically. But in the ages category, nothing changed there. In the PFD section, some small verbiage changes. In the first section, I changed supply and then failure. In the bullet underneath, in the waiver, in the middle bullet, removed the year 2025. Obviously, the policy is going to be ongoing. Into the online ticketing quantities reserved section, just some small verbiage changes there to better fit what we're going to be doing in the future with that. Moving down into the in-person section with the number 2, subsection number 1 was broken apart from the previous one just to make that example stand out a little more. In the exceptions section, there was no changes there. Weather temperature closures, no changes. Acts of weather closure, I just kind of cleaned up the language to make it a little more precise reading, so no notable changes there. In refunds, there was no changes there, aside from the 50% in the second subsection, and then I. Previously, I had $4. If we change the price of that in the future, it wouldn't necessarily be $4. So change that to 50%. In the tickets purchased online, I removed the household and the guest options. After further discussion with Carolyn, all of the purchase refunds would be going back to the card of payment, regardless if it was a household account or a guest account for that transaction. Moving on to the general swim savings, I removed the price of the general swim discount. It had been stated as $3. Again, if that changes in the future, we obviously want this policy to work for that, so save a discount of $1 per swimmer. Punch pass usage, there was no change there. And then the more notable changes came in the volume discounts and group visits. So tried to make the language more concise reading than the previous one, removed the dollar amounts, and then with the online purchases, there was some ambiguity there, like Mike Weston had mentioned. So I guess I'll read subsection 1. So online purchases via WebTrack must all be made within 1 session to receive the discount. For example, purchasing 5 tickets for the 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. session and 5 tickets for the 1 to 3 p.m. session would not qualify. Qualify, not quality, for the volume discount. And then due to software limitations, groups that qualify for the 20 or more ticket volume discount are instructed on WebTrack to contact the Parks, Recreation, and Forestry office to complete the reservation. Groups of 20 or more that show up in person will be issued the $2 discount per ticket when transacted through the point of sale system. The same would be true with the $1 discount. Groups using the Aquapark will be required to purchase all Aquapark tickets and pay in full at the time of booking, so no spots will be held without payment. So if someone gets a hold of me, if it's another recreation department and they're planning on coming on June 10th, I'm not going to hold spots for them without collecting their payment at that point of time, is essentially what that is trying to imply. Groups may purchase their general swim passes for their in-person visit at the Regner Park Beach House. And then following suit with what we've done in the past, group chaperones will receive free general swim, but they'll pay the same rate as the rest of the group for admission to the Aquapark. So, yeah, caught the one typo. Quality will be changed to qualify, but if there's nothing other than that, those are the changes.
Thanks, Ryan. Anybody have anything for him? This was in our packet, and we've gone over it for 2 months, so we're ready to vote on it as far as I'm concerned. Is there a motion to approve? Justice?
Motion to approve.
Second.
And no other discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, Ryan. New business. We have Jacob Lindsley here for the Eagle Scout project at Ridge Run. Mike, you're going to start us out here?
Yeah, Jacob contacted us a couple of months ago to review his, and I don't want to spoil it for you, it's to review his project. We met out on site and reviewed kind of his wants and goals and needs. Looks like it could be a good project that would benefit our park system, so Jacob, take it away.
There's a button on your mic. Can you push that?
Try it again. Is it green? Yeah. Then you're all set. Keep going.
Thank you. As you already heard, my name is Jacob Lindsay. I'm currently 15 and a Life Scout with Troop 226, clearing out of the local organization. I'm working towards Eagle Scout. I think there it goes. I'm working towards Eagle Scout, and one of the things I have to do is do my Eagle project. And one of the things that I thought would be beneficial to people is if there was some sort of rope up the sledding hill at Ridge Run in order to help people in the winter because of how steep the hill is and because of how icy it gets, in order to help them to better climb the hill. So I went out on site with Mr. Yench and looked out on it, and all of you should have gotten a little handout that I gave out with just the basic gist of the project. What I was thinking was about a rounded fence post every 10 or 20 feet with 2 ropes going down these. One rope would be a little higher, a little bigger for most people to use, and then a smaller, shorter one for the younger kids. And then this would be located on the north side of the hill, and specifically on the second page, the first picture shows exactly where it would be, and it would be towards the right side on that picture, right along the tree line, so it's not a safety hazard. And then specifically the area is on the third page, and it just shows the general hill. The red box is where it is with a zoomed in picture, and the red line is where I would like to put it, right along the tree line so it's not a hazard, but also up the steepest part of the hill to help people climb it when it's icy.
One thing Jacob did mention, we did meet out on site, and the rope would be far enough to the north that if you start sledding down the hill, it doesn't become a hazard. All of a sudden someone goes off, but not so far out of the way that no one's going to use it. So you can kind of see the one tree in the picture. To the left of that tree is where everyone's sled riding. To the right of the tree is where Jacob's project, or they're proposing where it would go in.
Yeah. The place I would like to install it, the place I'd like to install it is right about where people are climbing up the hill already. It would just be right next to where the path that people are already using in order for them to be able to use it.
Would the ropes stay up year-round then?
Ropes would stay up, sure. After we'd met out there, I was kind of thinking about it. It might actually just force all the foot traffic to the one side, even if they use this rope or not, just instead of people walking straight up the middle of the hill and basically getting picked off on the way down, or, when someone else comes out, which
That's part of the fun.
it's kind of a case of natural selection, but we like to have a safe sledding hill, so if we can move everyone to the north side, it'd be great.
Well, that's wonderful. Yeah, I think that'll be nice. That'll be a good addition to the ski hill, the sledding hill. Anyone have any comments for?
Just how many posts is this going to take, do you know?
So I'm not sure off the top of my head. Like I said, like listed, I plan to put a post every 10 to 20 feet. I'm still meeting with someone who works in construction to find out exactly how many posts I would need. I'm not sure off the top of my head, though.
Thank you.
When is this going to get done?
I was planning on executing the project with any luck towards the end of April, early September of this year.
Wonderful. Any other questions?
Great idea. I've sledded this hill many times myself when I was a kid. It's awesome.
We used to
Yeah,
sled
I
down
think it's a good
10th
plan.
Avenue when we were kids.
What's that?
We used to sled down 10th Avenue when we were
Well, yeah, no doubt.
That was in the 50s.
All right, if there's no other questions, is there a motion to approve this project?
Motion to approve.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thanks a lot and good luck.
Jacob.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next, we have special events, no fees. Mike?
All right, thank you. This evening, we have a couple of no-fee events. The first one is the Independence Day celebration on July 4th. This event is hosted by the Park Rec Forestry Department. We work with different community groups and companies and everyone to put on this event. Basically, the day will start off, the events will start off at 9 a.m. with the pickleball tournament in Regner Park. The parade at 9:30. Food and beverages will start at 9:30 in Regner Park. That, again, will be conducted and executed by Thunder Baseball. Thunder will be required to provide their own insurance and all alcohol licensing and all that stuff through the clerk's office. So that is still, just because it's a city event, none of that is waived. We still follow all those requirements through the clerk's office. And Thunder Baseball is already well underway for their planning for this July 4th. Entertainment in Regner Park will start about 10:30 with bands and DJs and things like that. That's already been ordered and scheduled. Duck Derby around 11 a.m. After the parade. 7 p.m. Then with the Duck Derby, we also have obviously the Westbury Bank Aquapark and Regner Park. Once the activities are winding down in Regner and Riverside Park again this year, we will have a DJ and our same food vendors that we've done in the past over at Riverside Park. Wolverine Fireworks is already scheduled. Same firework company that we've used in the past. Fireworks are scheduled at 9:30. A lot of it's the same as what we've done in the past for this event. Next event is Luminary Walk, co-hosted by the Friends of Lac Loran and Park Rec Forestry Department. Scheduled for October 18th out at the Conservancy. Again, co-sponsored event, so there'll be no fees. The Friends Group does also carry their own liability insurance and things like that. So again, we follow the same requirements as any other organization. Chapman in the Park, November 28th through December 24th. This is hosted by the Rotary Clubs, Rotary Club, mainly the Sunrise Rotary here in West Bend. There's no charge for this event because of the MOU between the Rotary and the city of West Bend. But little things like electricity, because we have lots of lights going and all that, the Rotary pays for electricity during that time period. That's all part of that MOU for their event. So the more lights they burn, the more they're on, this and that. The city of West Bend taxpayers are not required to pay for that.
Good point.
Chapman in the Park takes care of that. Reindeer Run is scheduled for December 7th. This is co-hosted with our Friends of Park and Rec and our department in Regner Park. It's been a success the last couple of winters. We've had some great weather for it, so we've been fortunate that way. And again, a good fundraiser for our Friends group, which ultimately financially supports what we do. So those are the events this evening. Thank you.
Is there a motion to approve the events?
Motion approved.
Second.
Yep, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
And we have 2025 project review. Rick?
Good evening. Tonight,
It's on the monitor next to you, too, if you didn't see it.
yes, tonight staff will run through the list of projects planned for 2025. You can follow on your monitor. We see the first page of projects, Ryan's second page. Total of 21 projects are planned through the rest of this year. The first project, the White Family Cabin at Ridge Run, is currently undergoing remodeling. The project is on schedule for completion by our first scheduled rental on May 10th. The improvements you can see there include window and door replacement. We've done repairs to the existing chimney and installed a gas fireplace insert. We'll be replacing all of the interior paneling installing a very nice-looking tongue and groove pine for that cabin feel. We're adding an exterior wood deck to expand the usage of the cabin outside. We've added a second egress door. Most of the funding of this project is through an anonymous donation. Parks operating funds will also contribute to the project in the replacement of the existing roof shingles. As I said, this project looks to wrap up by the end of May. The board at Lac La Ronde has approved 2 contracts for painting the Marin Center as well as the barn. The Marin Center contract is just shy of $28,000. The barn estimate is $12,000. The tree surety contract is expected to get started with planting of 209 trees across the city. This will get started in May. The contract consists of 81 free tree requests from citizens, as well as planting of 52 trees for road reconstruction projects from 2024. And also, we'll be planting 23 trees as part of the tree surety program in new neighborhoods. And we'll be planting 53 trees in city parks. The total contract is, the total budget, I should say, is $79,000. Our contract for planting the trees is a little over $60,000. Our budgeting includes funds from a 2024 DNR Urban Forestry Grant in the amount of $25,000. We'll be constructing 2 handicap accessible parking spaces at the Regner Labyrinth Garden. This project is currently out to bid. The budget is of $34,000. We expect to begin construction in as early as August. We'll have a 90-day contract to allow flexibility for our contractor. The end date is no later than November 1st of this year. The Parks Forestry Workshop is looking to get a long-awaited roof replacement for the north section of the facility. You can see from the photos, you can actually see daylight in some areas. This has been a long-standing problem that's well overdue, and fortunately, we're able to secure funding through the 2025 building maintenance budget. The total project is estimated at $54,000.
Next one is that Camp Lodge improvements. We're looking forward to doing the final phase here. I can tell you it's a very popular rental, and there's a high demand for enclosed facilities with indoor kitchens and restrooms. The past renovations to the restroom and the kitchen in 2018 were very well received by our renters. 2023 improvements were door and window replacement, siding repair, repair to the porch support beam, new security light, and mason repairs and gas installed in the fireplace. Completion this year is very exciting, and with a budget of $40,000, we're planning to do the following. Replace 4 remaining windows on the porch, pine paneling, trim vinyl base, replace suspended ceiling and LED lights, new ceiling, fans, electrical outlets and baseboard heat, and new LVT flooring. So Rick has worked hard, I know, to get affordable bids and services for all of this, so we hope to get it all done. Looking forward to offering this rental to our party renters, and I know they'll love it.
The Wingate Park Playground, which is, I think it dates back to 1999 or earlier, is sorely in need of replacement. We have $110,000 budgeted for replacement of the playground. The the new play equipment will amount to just shy of $70,000 of that $110,000 budget. We've benefited from a grant from the manufacturer, Game Time, and the total, that grant totals a little over $48,000.
With that, staff will be relocating the merry-go-round, which is also going to be refurbished. It's going to be painted on site by CertaPro to match the new playground that's going in. We will be leaving the swing set. It's still in good shape, and that will also be being repainted. Along with where the merry-go-round is going, we will be removing a lot of asphalt at the park to narrow down, give not so much surface area, so we won't have to pay so much to fill it with wood chips. Nature Playground, still in progress. If anybody's been by recently, we put out the general store is done for the most part. Also, the bank is done. The agility area, we will be continuing with as soon as we can get in there without making a big mess. We have a lot of projects within the shop that have been built over the winter that are gonna be on fences or part of just to hand-eye coordination for kids. LLC tree planting, Arbor Day is April 26th. We will be planting 50 trees out at the pine tree plantation where we removed a whole bunch of, well, we removed the whole plantation. This is just a reforestation project. They're all gonna be native species. Right now, last count I heard, we had 15 volunteers.
Is that enough?
Can always use more, Mike. Yeah.
Targeting 20.
Okay.
Quas Creek, Field 3, about 3 weeks ago, we removed the old scoreboard. It was the last of the 3 fields that needed a new update. West Bend Athletic Association donated the new scoreboard, which you see there, which we finalized in place yesterday. Working with a contractor to get it wired up for the season. Security cameras, budget approved. We will be installing cameras at Riverside Park. That'll be nice for the restroom that are constantly vandalized. The Riverwalk, more in the alley, there's going to be 3 cameras in the alleyway, 1 on each end, 1 in the middle. Highway 33 bridge, where it goes underneath there, I'm not sure of the number, 2 cameras. So hopefully we can get, there's another spot now that's being vandalized quite a bit. Carl Cuss Field, concession stand area and on the grandstand. And the last one is another camera for the swim pond with the Aquapark. Swim pond dredging and Aquapark. We went out and got all the anchors. They're sitting on the beach, ready to go in. Today, the contractor placed his pump to start dewatering. Hoping to get in there next week to start dredging, down to 14, 15 feet throughout. He'll be removing 15,000 cubic yards of sediment. We're gonna add 3,500 yards of sand, and then we'll place the anchors with the contractor. He's gonna continue to dewater it, and he's going to help us with his excavator to place all those anchors. It'll be a lot easier for us.
Yeah, and I just threw these pictures in, so this was from the dredging and dewatering last year, so Regner will look like this at some point in time in the upcoming weeks. Aquapark, so last year we had 9 total inflatables. This year we have 53 or 54, so excited for everything that's going to be new and improved at Regner Park this summer.
That's crazy.
Just kind of a rundown of where we're at with the budget. I'll use round numbers. So BMCI is at $197,300 for their portion of the contract with contingency. Aquaglide inflatables, life jackets, and accessories, $146,000. Gillitzer Electric will be at $15,750 to do some electric work to get the pump supplied with electric so that we can have the monsoon systems in the 4 corners. Miscellaneous expenses, budget $10,000, and then the concrete anchors were $3,250 for a total of $372,500. Wow. Funding, park impact fees have been allocated already, $233,000. Westbury Bank will be donating $30,000 this year. Friends of Park and Rec, $50,000 this year. We pulled the balance of the summer lunch program money for $30,000. Sunrise Rotary contributed $20,000. And the swim raft, we budgeted $5,000 for the sale of that on Wisconsin surplus and ended up getting $11,200. So you can see if everything holds true, we're a little bit in the green right now for the budgeting of this project. Skate park, not a lot has happened since we got the location approved. We did meet with the skate park board last night. The biggest goal right now is in the remainder of 2025 to get the RFP document completed, sent out, and have the skate park designer and builder selected from the interviews that we hope to do in the remainder of 2025. Begin fundraising and marketing to obviously generate some revenues in the remainder of this year. And then we're working on establishing some documents, policies, and procedures for the board members to follow as we go along this journey.
Concession stands at Regner Park are heavily used in the summer months and during enchantment in the park. Really, it's a four-season park at this time. Condition issues with the floor prompted this project. The existing chipped floor surface, as you can see, the holes there. It's going to be ground down, replaced with polyurea flooring. In addition, power washing, sealing, and painting of the concrete block walls below the serving counters will result in a durable, fresh new look for the upcoming 2025 special event season. The rotary floor was done just like this in 2020. Part of the scope of this project, that floor will also receive a refresh, and CertaPro is under contract to complete this work the week of May 12th, 16th, a total cost of $9,137, and that's funded through the park's general operating accounts. In addition, our awesome park and forestry crew has refurbished the custom serving counters you see in that first picture, and a fresh coat of paint's been applied by these guys, and I've heard it looks fantastic, so excited to see that fresh new look.
All right, downtown development and the Riverwalk downtown. One would think that everything looks great and we're done. We are not. We are working with our senior leadership group downtown, the bid board, admin development department. We are looking at hiring an architect to put together a lighting scheme for the pedestrian bridges downtown. Also possible festoon lighting for like Vest Pocket Park between the Ziegler Building and Sal's Pizza, and possibly even some festoon lighting on Main Street, across Main Street downtown. Part of our downtown development for the summer is we have no gazebo at Old Settlers Park. Looking at possibly redeveloping that area. The gazebo that was there was functional, but everyone that uses that area, the Bend Theater, the Downtown West Bend Association, they would like to have something a little bit bigger, more electrical capacity. Obviously, technology when we built that was not what it is today, so some upgrades there. And also one huge request that we've been hearing for many, many years are public restrooms downtown. So we are trying to work with one and or several property owners down there about maybe an acquisition and building some public restrooms in downtown. When we did the Riverwalk project, we tried to find something along the Riverwalk where we could add restrooms. With it all being in the floodplain, that was pretty much a no-go. So we're kind of back to, hey, what can we do up on Main Street? So public restrooms would be huge. I mean, you look at just daily activity, but farmers market and music on Main and everything else that we have going on down there, it's overdue, so. Next couple of items, and we've talked about this briefly, but basically Ice Age Trail development, you look at Glacier Blue Hills to what we have now on Washington Street, and then down on the south end at Ridge Run Park. We're working with Kunkel Engineering to try and put some cost estimates together. Glacier Blue Hills, we have a gravel parking lot there. It would be nice for the Ice Age Trail and for obviously our bike organization and staff. You go out there right now, there's huge potholes. The kids are rutting it up and all that good stuff. Some cost estimates for asphalting, some of that out there. Some overflow parking when we have some events out there, the high school, if they have tournaments and all that stuff. So we're looking at that. A small parking lot and trailhead on Washington Street, where the Ice Age Trail Community, or Ice Age Trail Alliance just did the boardwalk and a bridge. And then on the south end, we will look at the boardwalk and some other improvements through Ridge Run Park. The boardwalk and Ridge Run Park that you see there, yes, there's a dead ash tree on top of it, but even before that happened, there were several sections that were sinking. And below that boardwalk is another boardwalk that failed many decades ago, so we literally have one sunk and one out there already, this one. So if we would ever look at doing something, we will look at something that's not going to sink. Actually, I think we will look at probably a floating boardwalk of some nature. So with this Ice Age Trail development, we want to put some cost estimates together, look at what we can do with DNR stewardship grants for funding, work with the Ice Age Trail Alliance for partnership and funding, because all three projects would not be cheap to do them all at one time. Maybe a phased approach over a couple of years, but something I think we want to take a look at with, and not just, again, the city of West Bend. Partner with the Ice Age Trail Alliance, work together on getting some of these improvements done.
Especially with that beautiful new bridge, we might as well
Oh,
fix up the
yeah,
boardwalk and everything else.
because right now, people are like, where do we park on Washington Street and go, park behind Culver's? Well, we don't want to park in Culver's, and they're all private parking lots. We don't want to, hey, go park over there. And even the parking lot that's next to that, next to the trail there, if they allowed us to use one or two of their stalls today, that's fine, but as soon as the use of that building changes, they would need those parking stalls back. We already talked to development about it, and policies and procedures with Plan Commission and all that, where we just need to build a parking lot there. And it would be a smaller lot, like 6 or 8 stalls, 2 handicapped, the rest would be standard stalls, nothing huge, but just a nice trailhead, a nice destination. And we would share the driveway with the property owner to the east, especially with the stop and go lights right there, state highway, the state of Wisconsin's not gonna want another driveway out there and all that, so it'd be, a shared approach and all that, so. Vine Street Trail Connection, we talked about that a little bit in the past. That is still on our list to take a look at putting some plans and specifications together for that. Obviously, some cost estimates. We will look at using park impact fees to fund this project to connect those neighborhoods on the east side of Eisenbahn Trail to the Eisenbahn Trail and Ziegler Park. Part of it also is with the Cora Elementary School. That will no longer be a school in a couple of years. We don't know the future of that. So this trail connection might even be more important for that neighborhood to get some connection from east to west. Rouse Park improvements, we talked at a commission back in, I believe it was December, maybe November, about some of the improvements out there. We're hoping to, I'll say it like this, pick this project up a little bit later in the year. Rick's been pretty busy trying to get a lot of these other projects and contracts together and get them out there. This would be another one we will look at for additional parking and additional fencing to the north to expand Ralph's Park. And we would also look at possibly key coding the gates out on the property. So if you're paying your $30 to use it, you get a key code. You don't pay your $30 to use it, you don't get a key code. Want to throw your dog over the fence and climb the fence, get in there, I guess you can, or whatever. Wait by the fence and walk in with someone, whatever, that's fine. But we have a lot of people out there right now that don't pay their annual fee. We need that fee for maintenance and growth and things like that. We need a larger dog park. Well, that's all because it's being used so much. Well, we want to also ensure that our users are paying that fee. It's $30. It's not a lot. $30 to use that dog park on an annual basis. That's cheap. That's affordable. Parkside O, again, Parkside O kind of leads me into our very last item also tonight is our park and open space plan. But Parkside O is going to become very important over the next year to 20 years with the new development down on 18th and NN, some possible new development even along Roscoe Road in the future, future development on South Main. Parkside O is going to become more important to the community to fulfill neighborhood park requirements and all that. And we don't have a lot on the south end of the city. Parkside O sitting there, it's a beautiful piece of property. It's 80 acres. We can do a lot with it. So in the near future, we will start looking at master planning for that park and everything else. But before we start any construction or development or fundraising, we would definitely need to have a talk with the Common Council because someone needs to maintain this park. And with our staffing reductions over the last couple of years, 18% reduction in maintenance staff in 2019, 2020, we can't start building a new neighborhood or a new community park like Parkside O without some commitment from the Common Council. So when would that happen? When would that discussion happen? I don't know, but sometime in the future, sometime in the near future, we'd have to talk about that and what it would take. And not just maintenance, it'd be programming, partnerships. We start looking at, okay, what do we want there? There's a wish list a mile long of what people want. It's just what can we feasibly construct and maintain and manage and everything else. People have wanted aquatic centers to indoor athletic facilities. Those are multi-million-dollar projects that we can't afford to build, and then someone's got to maintain them and operate them. So we have some ideas, and the commission would definitely be involved with that decision-making process and setting those priorities. So.
Yeah, with all the developments on that end of town, it's gonna
Yep.
happen, and
Yep.
we're gonna need a park down there.
Yeah, and I'm not talking 10 years down the road, I'm talking soon. You look at 18th and NN, I'm just waiting for bulldozers to get dropped off. I mean,
95 houses.
that's not a slow process, they're moving along quickly. We met a couple of weeks ago again with the developer. It was all the departments from anything from police and fire, water, all the utilities, and putting final details on drawings on this is where water mains will go and all that. So and the developer, they don't want to wait a couple of years to do this. This is a project they want to start now. So, which will just put, I'll say like just more pressure on us to provide, that recreational amenity in the south side of the city and that's all good stuff. I mean, I look forward to those discussions, especially Parkside O. It's been there, it's been sitting there, it's time, it's due, let's do it,
Time for a new name, too.
Yeah, Weston Acres. The next project is All Abilities Playground. Again, large fundraising projects for our department. I'm gonna go back to the Library Rec Center, to the Riverwalk, to downtown Carlcus Field, the Beach House. A lot of those big projects have been completed, and the next big one that we're working on, Ryan already mentioned, was the skate park, and now the All Abilities. So when we started the All Abilities project, it was back in, again, about the 2020, 2020-21. The project, we have all the final drawings, we have the construction specifications, we have all the materials, all that, we have everything. The only thing we'd have to do is like a grading plan, look at the driveways and things like that out at Ridge Run, some of that infrastructure out there. And then we need to update our cost estimates and just put the project back together for actual 2026 costs. And then we can move that project forward after that. So we don't want to go to the community again with multiple projects at one point in time, skate park and the All Abilities and Aquapark and Nature Playground. So we got to try to stagger out some of these projects a little bit. So we've not forgotten about the All Abilities. It's still important. I think there's a solid niche for the All Abilities for our community and honestly for the county. I think we're going to have county-wide commitments financially that support this project. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. Even things like the development of the cabin that's occurring right now out there, that was part of this project, the All Abilities project, because we were going to look at everything over there. So to get some of that done now is huge. That's important. So All Abilities. Rick and I will be picking this up again later on this year and starting to work on that again and put that, I'll just say put it back together. It's kind of all over the place right now, so So that's where we're at on that. And the last item is the city's 2020 comprehensive plan and our park and open space plan need to be updated. Instead of doing the two projects separate, we are working with our development department, John Fellows, on putting an RFP together. Both projects, if we would do our park and open space plan ahead of the comp plan, they just adopt so much of the same information, demographics and things like that. So we're working with those folks up there to try and put the package together and start that process. When we do that, we will have open meetings. We will also need a governing body to review as we go along. I would request that the Park Commission is that governing body to review this document. The old one is here, it's all pretty with maps and things like that, and the new one will look very similar. But with that, we would probably go up to like 2040. So, which is kind of cool to look at what's gonna happen. Estimated size of the city, growth, demographics, and future parks, and how far out we're gonna go. I would guess at least a mile south of Rusco Road and things like that for a plan like that, so. There we go.
Great.
Thank you.
Good stuff. I got a few questions. The Wingate Park, has there been excitement with the neighbors, do you know? They're gonna,
We have invited neighbors to a planned volunteer meeting to introduce the project to the neighborhood on April the 16th at 6 p.m. in the council chambers. We'll hope to see a good turnout, but I'll be able to let you know at that time. We're hoping to get 20 to 30 volunteers for the project.
right,
If I didn't mention, the actual playground installation date selected is August 9th. That's a Saturday, starting at 8 a.m. We anticipate that the installation will be complete by noon, about a 4-hour process.
great. And the dredging of the pond, with that being such a steep fall zone, do we anticipate every couple of years or every few years re-dredging, you know?
We're not sure at this point, but yeah, we are going to have to dredge. When we met with Wisconsin Lake and Pond about putting a liner in, they brought up scuba divers that actually go down and vacuum up muck. So as far as dredging, that might be the option, because if we put, what are we looking at, 100 anchors in there, we're not gonna pull them out every time that we need to dredge. So that might be something we have to look at.
And the gazebo, do we think that's gonna happen this summer?
I hope so. Right now, we do not have a timeline because we're looking at the gazebo, possibly redoing the entire Old Settlers Park. We're looking at the new master plan for downtown, and also how do we incorporate restrooms in that area. Old Settlers Park is bullseye downtown. So much of the activity and events happens right there. So we, instead of just putting the same gazebo back, that's why we're trying to look at the entire footprint there, Mike. And to be honest with you, our insurance company's still battling it out.
Because there was talk of a temporary one.
Yeah, the Downtown West Bend Association, we gave them the green light to put up basically a shade structure for the summer, just to put something up to help them out. And they're great with that, they're happy with it, and they understand that, they're excited, they understand that they won't have a gazebo because they're excited about maybe something changing and some improvements, because we would definitely include them on, the planning process and the wants and the needs and things like that, so.
So it's a good backup plan.
Yep.
Great. Any other questions for anybody? That was just a report, so we don't need to vote on it. Thanks, that was great. We have donations next. Ryan, you're gonna start us out?
Yes, I have the first 8 donations this evening. The first one is from the West Bend Sunrise Rotary Foundation for $4,800 for Aquapark tickets to be given out for free at the West Bend Library to their users. So a good partnership between the 3 entities. the Recreation Division, Library, and West Bend Sunrise Rotary. So thank you to the Library and the Rotary for this generous donation. Westbury Bank, we received $25,000 for their first part of their commitment for the Aquapark naming rights for 2025 to 2031. So thank you again to Westbury Bank. Killian Management Services, Inc. donated $1,250 for their Ninja sponsorship for the 2025 Dirty Ninja Mud Run for Kids. So thank you, Killian Management Services, for your repeated donation. Ridgeline Construction LLC also donated $1,250 for their Ninja sponsorship for the 2025 Dirty Ninja Mud Run for Kids. This is Ridgeline Construction's first year sponsoring the event, so we are very thankful to have Ridgeline on board. Delta Defense is again sponsoring $1,250 for the Ninja sponsorship for the 2025 Dirty Ninja Mud Run for Kids. Thank you to Delta Defense. West Bend Insurance Company Charitable Fund at the West Bend Community Foundation donated, once again, generously $2,500 for a Ninja Warrior sponsorship for the 2025 Dirty Ninja Mud Run for Kids. So thank you to West Bend Insurance Company for that generous donation. Bank 59 donated $5,000 for a presenting sponsorship for this year's Dirty Ninja Mud Run for Kids. This is their second year as a presenting sponsor. Thank you to Bank 59. And last, for what I have, is Vortex Pickleball LLC donated $200 for pickleball court and maintenance. So thank you to Vortex Pickleball for this kind donation.
The Knights of Columbus ran a free throw contest at a local school. They donated $50 proceeds for that for the Special Olympics. Fox Brothers Piggly Wiggly also donated for Special Olympics $3,252.01, and this is from their Roundup campaign. Charity of the month was Special Olympics in January. So thank you to Piggly Wiggly.
Whitetails Unlimited donated $1,000 for archery range improvements and upkeep. Thank you to Whitetails Unlimited. Also, Riverside Disc Golf Club donated $200 to be used towards the Riverside Disc Golf Course. So thank you to the Riverside Disc Golf Club.
Our final donation to announce is from an anonymous donor of amount of $40,000 towards the Ridge Run Cabin renovations. And this is the third donation that has been given towards this project, now totaling $105,000. So thank you to our donor for generosity.
That's wonderful. Great. Is there a motion to accept the donations?
So moved.
Second?
Motion is second. Any discussion? I'll just say, this community is wonderful, these donations. We couldn't do what we do without this. It's just, it blows my mind when we get this every month. Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Carried. Thank you. Reports. Chairman will just say, we got this beautiful activity book this week. And in the middle of it, all these wonderful things going on in the city. Just, it's fantastic, all the things that go on. That's about all I have. Courtney, we got some stuff emailed. She's busy out there. And Rick, you have anything?
No, I don't really have anything to add to the report on the projects.
Brian?
Spring swimming lessons are completing week 4 on this Saturday out of 6, and then we'll be done with swimming lessons until the summer, so strong enrollment in this. Another positive session of swimming lessons. Spring sports are going to start before we meet again in April, so this year we are offering track and field, baseball, soccer, tennis, and archery, so a full slate of spring sports before we get into the summer. Summer program registration for City of West Bend residents began on the 25th. Pretty good enrollment in a lot of the programs that we're offering, and then non-resident registration begins on April 1st. To highlight, I guess, how strong some of our programs are, our youth theater program has 40 spots in it. Registration for that opened March 1st at 6 a.m., which was a Saturday, and all of those 40 spots filled within 10 minutes. So by 6:10 a.m., they were full with 40 spots. So Nick Bredigen and the rest of the folks from Spotlight that we're fortunate enough to hire to operate this program do a great job. Aquapark equipment has been officially purchased. They received the check, so they're gonna ship us the mooring lines to anchor the obstacles in place, and then the custom panels that we're gonna be placing on a couple of the obstacles for the monetary sponsors. We should be receiving the physical elements themselves on or around April 23rd, so exciting times there. And then Mud Run registration is also open, so truthfully a little behind where we are in the past, but I'm certain that everything's gonna turn around and we'll hopefully cross 2,500 this year, so.
How many lifeguards?
Staffing for this summer, I have 3 supervisor lifeguards and 24 or 25 standard lifeguards. We plan to hire more beach house attendants, so I believe my final number there's 14 or 15. And then just a couple of odds and ends on the recreation side to fill, mostly evening hours, looking to fill that. So I'm pretty certain that everything for me staffing wise will be filled by the time we meet in April. So looking forward to summer.
Aquapark, is there a rep that comes out when we do the initial setup?
So initially, Aquaglide, the company that manufactures the equipment, said that that would be a fee. As we went further on in this process, the last time that I had corresponded with them through email, they said that they were considering sending out 2 of their higher up folks to be on site free of charge. So
great.
we're planning on talking to them sometime in the middle of April before we get the equipment, just to kind of go through any of the last minute questions that pop up. And then hopefully, yeah, they're willing to send someone out free of charge to be out here for a day or 2 to help us along with the process.
That would be helpful.
Yeah, certainly.
Thanks. Dan, you got anything?
A couple things, excuse me. Today we helped out LLC and we placed up all the greenhouses and all the greenhouse for all the plant sale coming up on May 10th. Like I talked about earlier, we put up the scoreboard for Field 3 out at Quas Creek, so all 3 of those scoreboards have been updated in the last 3 to 4 years. All the water on all the parks will be turned on by April 11th, so all the restrooms will be up and going. All the nets are up, pickleballers are out already, all the soccer nets are up. We're trying to get ahead of the game because they have an aqua park and nature playground, everything else to do as well. Carl Cuss, they had games on there last weekend already. They had West Bend West was out there tonight. We set that up about a week and a half ago. So, other than that, the best news is both of our vacancies have been filled. We brought on a young man from Colorado. His name's Alex. He'll be taking the arborist position. He said somewhere between 4 to 5 weeks for him to come out. Don't know a lot about him as far as family or any of that, but yeah, that's a good fit. Certified arborist, years of experience, should be a real good slide in and go.
So we have 2 arborists, huh?
Yeah, me and, and, well, Alex, but, Ryan Williams is working towards becoming a certified arborist. And then, we also hired a young man named Joel. He took the arborist horticulturist position. He's gonna be graduating from UW Stevens Point in the middle of May. So we're gonna give him a couple weeks after that to relocate, so he probably won't be here, I would assume, till early June. So he's about 22 years old, so that will have every vacancy filled, and that'll
Great.
take some pressure off us.
Till Parkside O opens. And thanks. Mike, you got anything?
Yeah, I think I just want to echo a little bit what Chairman Weston mentioned with the donations. Again, this evening, 13 donations from individuals, organizations, companies. These 13 donations touch a lot of different improvements, property improvements. The Dirty Ninja Mud Run, again, that supports all the revenues from that. These sponsorships and the revenues from that supports our recreation division. Not a dollar of tax money goes towards our recreation division, which includes lifeguards and beach house operations and all that. So these donations get transferred into this project list we went through tonight, really, a lot of it. And the donation list is very impressive, and it's just, it floors me when we go through these. But the one thing that we don't see on that list are the in-kind donations. Example is gonna be the Wingate Park Playground this coming summer. We're using tax dollars to pay for the equipment. Staff is gonna do a bunch of the work, and the neighbors are gonna do, help us install it. The neighborhood build's gonna save between 10 and 15% on the project. So how do you equate that on all these volunteer hours out of Lac Loran and Glacier Blue Hills and all these groups that we work with? That donation list could just grow with those in-kind donations. So again, we are very fortunate, our department's very fortunate that we continue to get support like this throughout the community, financial and in-kind and volunteer efforts and everything else. Mike pulled out or opened up the special events schedule. A lot of those revenues and things like that, some of that comes back to what we do here. So, so thank you to all those people and organizations. So, that's what I got, Mike.
Thank you. Anybody have anything else?
Well, I don't mind adding that these people are, and the donations are fabulous, and it just amazes me every time I hear a list like that. But they're not donating because you guys are doing a terrible job. They're donating because we have an amazing Parks Department, and all of the people that work for the Parks Department, volunteer for the Parks Department. Dan, I mean, you can't go wrong with a Dan. So I think that speaks volumes about who they're donating to also. Just want to make that point.
Good point, Justice. Anything else? Then I will adjourn.